Hello everyone, this is Friday's Maths. Today I'd like you to think about telling the time. So what I'd like you to do is make your own little clock. You can get some paper or some card and cut round a plate, draw around a plate and then cut round it, and then make two handles. So you'll need one long handle and one short handle, and we'll talk about how to use your clock and what to talk to your child about in a minute. But before we do that, I've got a story that I'd like to share with you called What's the Time, Wilfred Wolf by Jessica Barrett and Steve Salk. Wilfred Wolf couldn't tell the time. Big hands and little hands were too confusing. He just ate and slept what he felt like, which was quite often. One morning a party invitation arrived. Dear Wilfred, please come to my party at 3 o'clock tomorrow, love, Ella. Yippee, your party! But how will I know the right time to go, yelped Wilfred. He didn't want to miss the party food, or the dancing, or the games. Maybe his friend Boris Bear would help. Don't worry, Wilfred, said Boris. Take this cuckoo clock. Every hour a little bird pops out and says, cuckoo. 3 cuckoos means 3 o'clock. Cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. Wilfred went home and put the clock on the table. He waited and waited and waited. After a while, Wilfred felt hungry. His tummy told him it must be about time for lunch. Rumble, rumble. Just as Wilfred started eating, the cuckoo spun out of the clock. Cuckoo! Wah! Screamed Wilfred, flinging his fork. Boing went the fork, splat went the sausage and mash, smash went the clock. What a shock for Wilfred. Wilfred went to ask his friend Amelia Squirrel for help. Don't worry, Wilfred, you can borrow my watch, said Amelia. It has numbers, but no hands. Fantastic, said Wilfred. Wilfred went home and made a birthday card for Ella. He had got all sticky with glitter and glue, so he decided to take a bath. Then he checked the time. Oh no, Wilfred cried. All the numbers had disappeared. Wilfred went outside and howled. What's the matter with you? Asked Oscar Owl flying by. Wilfred told him about the watch. Oh, Wilfred, said Oscar, watches don't like getting wet. But I can tell the time. I'll hoot down your chimney at 3 o'clock. Oh, thank you, Oscar, said Wilfred. Wilfred got dressed for the party and waited for Oscar. At last it was time to go. Tweet-too! Wilfred walked through the forest, over the bridge and around the hill to Ella's house. He knocked on the door. Where was everyone? It was very quiet. What are you doing here? Said Ella. I'm here for the party, said Wilfred. Oscar Owl said it was time to go. Oh, Wilfred, said Ella, owls are only awake at night. It's 3 o'clock in the morning now. The party's not until 3 o'clock this afternoon. Wilfred walked back home feeling tired and confused. On the way, he met Henry Cockerel. Henry, could you let me know when it's 3 o'clock this afternoon? Wilfred asked. No, cock-a-doodle-doo, said Henry. I only wake up in the morning. Wilfred slept all morning. He slept through lunchtime and into the afternoon. He only woke up when there was a knock at his door. Hello, Wilfred, said Albert Mouse. Aren't you going to Ella's party? I can't tell the time, said Wilfred sadly, so I don't know when to go. We can tell the time, said little Benjamin Mouse. We'll teach you, said Lily Mouse. This is the clock face, said Lily, drawing a big chalk clock on the ground. Albert's the big hand. When he points straight up to the 12, that means it's the beginning of the hour. And Lily is the little hand, said Albert. When she points to 2, that means it's 2 o'clock. 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock? It's party time! Wilfred had a wonderful time at the party. He ate lots of party food and danced with all his friends. And he knew when it was time to go home. Okay, so what I'd like you to do with your homemade clock is practice telling the time just to the nearest hour to start off with. We only really expect foundation stage children to use everyday language associated with time, so o'clock is perfectly great. So if you could talk to them about the big handle being the minute handle and the small handle being the hour handle, and you can ask your child to move to different times. So for example, the party was at 3 o'clock. Let's have a go at a couple of other times. So what time is it now? We've got 6 o'clock. And I'll do one more for you. What about now? What time is it now? Got 9 o'clock. Okay, so I'd like you to make your own clock. Have a go at telling clock times, and you could, if you really wanted to, go outside and play What Time Is It, Mr. Wolf? So one person stands with their back to the wall and the other shouts, "What time is it, Mr. Wolf?" And then the person turns around and shows the time on the clock. So if it was this one, we'd say it's 10 o'clock, and then you have to do 10 paces. And the aim of the game is to catch the person that's telling the time. Alright, so have a go at that. You could also go around your house and see all the different places that you can find the time and clocks. Alright, enjoy your maths today, and if you've got any questions, please do get in touch with me.